Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. So today I will present my analysis of the Sasak language, focusing on how words are formed, their meanings, and the interesting way this language reflects daily life and culture. So before we start, let me introduce myself first. My name is Sustia, and I'm the student of English Education Program at Mataram University. Sasak is a language spoken on the island of Lombok, West Nusa Tenggara, Indonesia. It is rich in vocabulary that captures everyday activities, social interactions, and cultural practice. By studying its word, we can better understand not only the language itself, but also the culture of its speakers. So let's start with some examples of Sasak words and their meanings. In Sasak, many words are tied directly to daily activities. For instance, color, it means eating, especially when done for or towards older people. And this reflects the cultural value of respecting elders during meals. And another example is babaturan, which means making friends or being friends. Similarly with words bebara, it means informing or giving information to someone. And beraja refers to studying. The word bedait refers to meeting someone, while bekedek means playing. And the last one is berujan, describes playing in the rain. There are also words that reflect economic or household activities. For example, in the word bedagang, it means trading or selling. And begawe means attending a party or celebration. In daily chores, popoan refers to laundry. And berwas means washing dishes. Ngalapit is folding clothes, and bejelok means drying clothes under the sun. Some words reflect leisure and learning. For instance, bacaan, it means reading material. And also betangkong means wearing clothes. Belagu means singing, and belayangan means playing cards. Other words like kakanan refer to eating snacks. Berutang means owing money. Jahitan refers to sewing or stitches. And ngaraos means speaking or talking. And from this list, we can see how the Sasak language captures actions, daily life, and social behavior in specific ways. Okay, the next one is morpheme analysis. Now let's look at how these words are formed. In Sasak, words often have prefix or suffix that can either slightly modify the meaning or completely change the word's grammatical function. For example, bedait is made up of the prefix be and the root date. It's still a verb, which means it is inflectional. Similarly with braja, combines ber and aja. And also bejora is be plus jora. And also bedengah, it's be plus dengah. All of these words are verbs and remain verbs after adding the prefix, which is the main characteristic of inflectional verbs. On the other hand, some words are derivational, meaning they change the grammatical category. For instance, bacaan combines the verb baca with the suffix an, which turns it into a noun. And also betangkong combines be with tangkong, it changing a noun into a verb. While ngeraos combines nge with raos and turning a noun into a verb. So the main difference is that inflectional verbs adjust the meaning or aspect of a word without changing its class, while derivational forms create a new word with a new function. And the next is morphological processes in Sasak. There are three main morphological processes in Sasak. The first one is affixation, the second one is reduplication, and the last one is borrowing. Affixation. Affixation is the most common process. It involves adding prefix or suffix to a root to change its meaning or grammatical rule. For example, the noun rose, which means feeling, becomes the verb rose, which means to speak or say something. When we add the prefix nge, and another example is kakan, meaning to eat, which becomes kakanan, meaning food, when we add the suffix an. The second one is reduplication. Reduplication is the repetition of a whole word or a part of it to show plurality, intensity, or habitual action. For example, baca-bacaan refers to books for reading, and makan makanan refers to types of food. Reduplication is very productive in Sasak and often adds once without changing the word class. And the last one is borrowing. Borrowing occurs when Sasak incorporates words from other languages, mostly Indonesian, and adapts them using its own affixes. For example, the word utang or hutang is borrowed from Indonesian, and when combined with the prefix be, it becomes berutang, which means being in debt. So the next is compare with English morphology. When we compare Sasak and English, we notice some similarities and differences. Both languages use affixation and borrowing. However, Sasak relies heavily on prefix like be, me, and mu, while English uses more suffixes and often changes a word class through conversion. Replication is common in Sasak, but in English, we typically use plural markers like as or es instead. For example, English says dogs or boxes, while Sasak may use reduplication to indicate multiple of repeated action. Another difference is that English frequently uses comparison, meaning the same word can function as different parts of speech, like run as a verb. For example, I run every day, and as a noun, he went for a run. This is rare in Sasak. So the next is challenges in analysis. During my analysis, I encountered several challenges. The first one is some Sasak words are very similar to Indonesian and making it hard to determine their origin. Words like makan, minum, or belajar exist in both languages. And the second one is affixes in Sasak can change depending on the root word. For example, the prefix me can appear as men, mem, or meng, depending on the sound that follows, and which complicates morpheme identification. And the last one is because Sasak is mainly a spoken language, finding reliable written sources was difficult, and I rely on conversations and examples from native speakers, which sometimes vary. And finally, distinguishing between inflectional and derivational affixes was sometimes tricky, as some affixes can change the meaning slightly, while others completely change the word class. And the last is conclusion. In conclusion, Sasak morphology is fascinating because it reflects cultural values and daily life through its rich system of prefix, suffixes, duplication, and borrowing. Inflectional forms maintain the word class, while derivational forms create entirely new words, allowing speakers to express new ideas and action. Studying Sasak morphology not only helps us understand the language structure, but also gives insight to the culture of its speakers. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you for listening, and I hope this presentation gave you a clear understanding of Sasak words, their formation, and their cultural significance. Okay, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.